afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm just posting up live on Twitter, so live on YouTube. Come and join me. All right, there we go. We are live. Let me get the chat up and running on the other computer as well. And then we'll get rocking and rolling with the watch list. What is going on today? The craziness. I know that I am competing with Powell right now. Yes, I'm competing with Powell. And I see you've got 4 people watching live, so welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. Sorry, yesterday I was feeling a little under the weather. Hey, Asif. Hey, Bat Scientist. Yes, you're first today. I know, Asif, I don't know what happened. I'm going to do yoga again tomorrow. So if anybody wants to do yoga with me again, I will stream it live tomorrow at 7:30. Hey, Christy. Thanks for joining me. And let's get started. Oh, I see American Airlines are dropping. I have no idea what is going on. Let's pull up Forex Factory over here. All right, let's switch over the viewing. So I was just teaching in the training pit over at thedarkpools.com, and we were talking about backup plans for trading today. And we see that you know what, Shovel? There's always other opportunities, John. There's always other opportunities. So we see that crude oil inventories much higher than expected today. And what's interesting was they said it was coming out at 12, but they released it at 11. And they just messed it all up for us. Anyways, we also have the Eurobank president, British government, Governor Bailey, and Fed Powell speaking. So they're all talking right now, and definitely playing an effect on the market. So let's look at NIO and XPEV first. So XPEV had earnings today and just skyrocketed. It ran up. So looking at the chart on our daily side, we had this nice pullback, right? It came back to our moving average down here. Volume was lower and then surged today. We broke out up above on my watch list today. Let's pull it up for you so you guys can check it out. So everything is somewhat under construction with the site. So please forgive me with the growing pains right now. But the sale is still going on with Reveal as the promo code, because we are in transitions, moving the website better than ever. And there's some headaches with it. So I do apologize about that. I know there were some headaches. Some people had emailed me. So I do apologize. Yeah, definitely. We'll chart Macy's and Microsoft for sure. So today we had Imac, XPEV above 38. Yep, 59% short. People were convinced this was going to go down. And well, it looks like it hurt their pockets instead. We also had this trend line, this upward trend line. So as long as it's holding this upward trend line right here, hey, this is still in upward motion. It just had a pullback before the earnings. And what happened? We hit that trend line and the breakout at the same time. We had some volume coming into it first time right here and then further up. And now it's starting to gain strength again. If it breaks above 43.50, watch, we'll probably test 44, 45, 44.50, and then potentially up to 44 today. NIO as well had a sympathy trade in relation to that. And NIO is still holding that upward trend line as well. So they brought it down almost to that trend line and then surged it higher as well for NIO. Let's add Macy's and Microsoft on here for Kyle. All right. And let's look at the indexes too, because there's a lot of uncertainty. The tech stocks are up stronger today than everyone else. Everyone else has really pulled back. So looking at the SPY over here, these are the volume weighted average prices. All right, so we broke above this one. I'm going to get rid of this one, but look at how it was resistance for a while, and then it was support over here. It's roughly at the 20 simple moving average. We'll get rid of that one. And here, this was from the bottom. We came up. Yeah, we never really pulled back to that one, so we'll pull that away for now. If we start to get close to them, I'll add them back on again. Here, we had this day. This was our anchored VWAP from the 4th of November, acted as support twice, right? So that's quite interesting. And here, the anchored VWAP from the 5th of November acted as our resistance. Let's check and see the anchored VWAP from right here on the 9th of November. Look at that. We are using that as a resistance today. It was a bit of a support. And if we throw one on for yesterday, yeah, right now we have that. Where's the other anchored VWAP? This one. Why isn't it showing up on all the charts? Let's see if I hit this here. Interesting that it's not showing up over here. Maybe it's a lot higher than I'm anticipating. That's very weird that it's not showing up on the right chart. It's been, oh, there we go. I had to scroll back for it to show up. 350, oh, it's that line, 357.52. Look at how that was really resistance yesterday and post-market yesterday as well. So we're starting to see, we've got a doji day, some volume dropping. Will this pull back? Let's look at, here's something to remember though. Microsoft and Apple tech stocks, right? Those are big holdings in the Qs and the SPY S&P. If the tech stocks start to do really well, then we might also see that the markets, as irrational as it sounds, might get pulled up because we have these super strong stocks in relation to potentially another lockdown that might happen where people really have to work from home. So that might drive the tech sector back up again. You know, they were saying, oh, we have a vaccine, it's coming out, and everything dropped. That was on the 9th, right? We had a surge up, and then, oh yeah, we're going to have new vaccine, boom, we come down. Well, now we're coming back up. Well, Apple has their own microchip, right? The semiconductors get hurt, and Apple's surging up. So let's look at Apple, which would be carrying the SPY and the Qs to the upside, right? Let's bring this over here. So for Apple, I had 120.13 as my resistance line. Coordinates, let's bring it down. 120.13 down here. And sure enough, it was testing there for the longest time today and bearish below 119.20. So we broke down, we tested that level for breakdown below, just up here at 119.20. And we had a bit of a move to the upside up to 120.53. Now we are still holding up above this trend line. It's really interesting that, let's put it over here. Why is that line right here? So interesting. I guess it just looks different on the one on the right. It looks like it's really close, like we're about to touch it. When down here, it's all the way down. Oh no, that's this trend line. There we go. So we're still up above this trend line. We had some more volume come into it. However, we were not able to take out the high over here. If we can take out the high of 121.20, likely heading back up, right? Everyone's working from home again. Tech stocks, that whole sector would likely go up. Let's look at Microsoft at the same time for you, Kyle, because Apple and Microsoft are the top two that will really affect the market, right? So we had this upward trend that was going on, and now we've broken out of that. So I'm going to pull this over here, bring it here, and bring this over here, right? Let's look at our upward channel. So we had a big move here, pretty steep, right? Came back down. We've bounced up. We are not able to hold up above that 218 mark. In fact, we have somewhat of an M right here. We are hitting my 425 on the right-hand side over here. Let's put it on a 45-minute chart. However, look, we had buying wicks right here, Are we going to create another buying wick, or is this the top? We somewhat have a rounded top that's setting up on the shorter time frame right here. You see this? Right here, right? So if we're able to break out of this rounded top mode, and look at how we're testing this support area. If we can stay above this trend line right here, there's a chance that we could still be in that bullish upward trend, right? We're still at the bottom. You know, my bear and bull hat would go off here at the 214 price, breaking down below the 425 EMA on the 45-minute chart. Desert Edge, what do you mean second? So for now, why is that link on? There we go. For now, oh, it took off. Oh, whatever. So for now, it took off all the drawings. Hold on, I got to put them back on. I took off all the drawings, and all I wanted to do was take off the one. There we go. So if we can hold up above here, might be good. Look at how it bounced off of here before. It danced around the 425, found support at the 200 SMA here, came up, hit 218, sort of dancing between 218 and 216, right? Bigger volume, descending volume now. Maybe we will have a reversal here. If we had a lot of volume and it was dropping, likely going to drop very quickly. However, we have that descending volume, so there might not be a lot of continuation to the move. We might see a reversal right here, and we might see it flip around and take out 219. If we take out 219, close above 218, take out 219, likely continuation upward move here, as well as on the SPY and the Qs. So now we just had the Qs go red on the day, and I have no idea what those lines are. Very interesting. So now over here, I do have different anchored VWAPs, right? This is the anchored VWAP from over here, and a lot of the anchored VWAPs are above us right now for the Qs. We did have some volume. My bearish below, 289, 289.20 down here, and we're not there just yet, right? So if we can break this to the downside, we could see a bigger move. You see the M, right? There's almost like this move, and then this move would be an M, but we also have an M right here setting up. So I would look to see, are we going to break below 289.20, potential drop down to 288.40 there, and then down to 287.50 over here. All right. Let's look at Imac as well. So Imac had earnings, low float, had a little run in the beginning of the day, but was looking very bearish actually. When I was looking at this chart this morning, I was like, man, this one's really looking bearish based on, I drew these trend lines and I was like, well, this, you know, isn't looking good, but it broke out up above and then, hey, bearish, here we go. This would be that potential short entry right here, right off of that's a VWAP, pulling back down. All right, it's below, and this is 7 million in the float. Might come back down to reality, even though it just had these two quick spikes, and you can see it hasn't really been able to hold up above 185. A quick run up, 70 cents there, and then pulled right back down. Also had Li, the auto car maker, Japanese, Chinese as well. And we are continuing to the upside. I need to move this over here because this is now changed. So we broke above this downward trend. Volume came into it today and surged higher. We're testing that former high. Will it be able to close above, or will this be a day of testing and we pull right back down? If we can follow that moving average up, the moving average is up, we might see a continuation move. Otherwise, it might come back down and test and fail. I forgot PDD. So PDD earnings today had a big move to the upside, a little short right here, but other than that, it really hasn't provided a big trade to it. So just a short from about 945, 940 until 9:50. You would have had to been very quick on that, and then not a big opportunity after that. American Airlines today was trading pretty much sideways, 11.80 and 12.10, a little bit, 13 cents move to the upside, but other than that, it's been pretty boring. Apple did have that nice move up above, up to 120.53. Plug today has had a nice move to the upside. 23.20 was my level to watch for breaking above, and we sure enough broke above 23.20, came back, tested it, and surged higher. Almost nice dollar move. If you'd capitalized on it here, you would have taken just under $1 and then $1 if you held on to it. Boeing today, with the announcements of everything coming up with the FAA, hey, we're above the 200 simple moving average. It's holding. We have volume dropping. The stochastics are looking a little overbought. On the 45-minute, you can see when it's showing overbought, I don't always listen to it as an indication to get out, but oversold as a potential jump in. Because when it's overbought, people can short and then they get squeezed, and then they short and they get squeezed, and they short and they get squeezed. And then we have a continued short squeeze until it's parabolic like this. Now we came back, we're testing the 21 EMA on the 5-minute chart, and potential move to the upside there. AMD, this one is one of Kyle's favorites, I know. So AMD today, breaking above the trend line. Hey, if this breaks above 82, right down here, which happened to also be right at that, pretty much right at that downward trend line on the daily chart. If I pull it back to a daily chart, you'll see it was from the, whoops, the tops of the daily charts right there. I meant this one to be daily. Make this a 5-minute chart again. And we bounced up above. So will it hold this trend line? If it can hold this trend line, we might see a trend change and further move to the upside. However, remember AMD, semiconductor microchip sector, with Apple creating their own. I don't know if, yeah, oh, I've got lots of energy today, Mark, lots of energy. With Apple providing their own microchip, I don't know if AMD had anything to do with Apple. I don't know, but I know the semiconductors were hit yesterday as Apple surged higher. So seeing that Apple is going higher right now, I have no idea what those lines are. It's very weird. And then they disappear. This right now, to me, watching this, we did break this trend change. We have seen some dark pool activity over the past week. And if you can see anything right here in relation, we're pretty much above everywhere except for the high of this day over here. So seeing all of that, I'm feeling a bit more bullish on this. However, it could very quickly come back down and break down below this trend line and break down below the 20 and 50, and we start to pull back again. So not sure just yet where we're going on Apple, but at the moment, feeling bullish. We're in a bullish trend. We are, if we could really close above 120.50, I would feel more convinced that we're heading right on up. But I've given you that target again, 142 area for Apple. That's my target by December. I'm going to stick to it as my little mini analyst move. All right. Macy's. So Macy's is descending volume. You know, this looks a lot like XOM, this chart in itself. Surge up on the 9th, and then we're down below it, bouncing off the moving averages. Now, Kyle, do you have a position in on Macy's, short or long? Just curious. So Macy's right now on the chart, if I was looking at this as a day trade, it had stronger resistance right here at 734, where it pretty much peaked pre-market at 4 a.m. And if this were to, so the bounds that I would keep on watch for moving, okay, $7 as a low. You can see it came back, and on the daily chart, we came back and we filled the gap, right? We actually came all the way down to fill the gap here, and we're hitting these moving averages. The volume is dropping off though, So we might see a reversal here. There's not big, heavy selling, and maybe it will reverse. It would need to take out the high of, I would say it would really need to pretty much take out the 200 simple moving average. So let's look at the daily chart. Yeah, look at that. Over here, we have strong resistance at 765. It opened above here, opened above, used it as support, came back and closed above it, and the 200 simple moving average. This day, more selling power. This day, definitely selling power, bearish candlestick. And today we have a bit of a doji day at the moment. Now, if this were to close down, right, if we were to close down here, around $7, would anticipate a move down to 685 and back down to the moving averages down here. It has been going sideways for a little bit. Almost looks like a W. Let's put it on the weekly chart. You might be able to see it better. You see how we have this W? Here, let's stretch this and put it over here. Pull this up. Right? If you look at it on the weekly chart, we have a bit of a W here. And if we could close above the midline, above 769, even really above 8 would be ideal, that we could potentially see this with a stronger continuation. Does have earnings coming up, so I would watch that. November 19th, so today is the 12th, so next Thursday is earnings. So would want to watch that as well. So that is something to look at. Earnings is 1 week away, which would affect the volatility, the volatility and pricing of the options. Do you guys have any other securities that you would like to check out? Let's look at Bitcoin and USD. I saw it this morning. It was above 16,000. All right, look at that. Breaking out up above 16,000 today on the weekly chart, but also on the daily chart as well. And yes, ASIF, I am feeling better. I just needed a day off. I think that was it. Oh yeah, I'll check it out, Mark. So Bitcoin came up. This was early this morning. Girls woke us up at 5 a.m. So saw this. I was like, wow, we're breaking 16,000. Interesting. And came back up and tested again. Looks like it might be rejecting it on the shorter time frame. And we'll look at Ethereum and USD. So Ethereum as well is coming up, testing a high. However, we have some selling wicks. If we're able to hold above 450, that would probably provide us another move to the upside. Yeah, let's look at AAL again. All right, so AAL on the daily chart, we're coming back down to moving averages. However, we had big day here, big day, so 3 black crows in a row. Not a very bullish indication, more bearish. However, we have a doji day right now, right? We're hitting the 20 simple moving average and not a lot of crazy volume. Hit the 425 on the 5-minute. Let's look on the 45-minute chart over here. And we're in this triangular wedge. Are we going to blow up next week? Kangaroo? What are you talking about? You want to short AAL. Well, right now, if we were in an upward trend, right, which our moving averages are still moving up, we're still above them. So in my opinion, I would wait. Oh, kangaroo market, like bounce up. Got it. Thanks for the connection. Yeah, volatility, right? In other words, bear trap, bull trap, bear trap, bull trap, or bull trap, bear trap, bull trap, bear trap. That's the way I think of it. Dirty money in the market, which as long as you're on the right side with it, you can profit. All right, so looking at it, I would wait for a further move down. I wouldn't try to guess because we've got the 200 simple moving average right here at 1180, and we've got some moving averages up above. We're also in this wedge. Hey, if it can break down below 1090, boom. If we can break up above 1260, up we go. If a stimulus comes out to help the airlines, guess what? Up it goes. If nobody's flying and they put on another restriction, down it goes. So to me, it's indecision right at the moment, especially with that doji. So I would hold off, in my opinion, on AAL. if you felt the need, I would wait for the confirmation down here below 1180. That's 18 cents, right? All right, let's look at CRM. Yeah, I'll look at PLTR. Plantronics, isn't that? So CRM, we have a nice gravestone doji over here, down day, and we are not below the, or below the big volume here. We have not closed the gap over here. So I would put this on watch for potential breakdown below 246. Palantir. Thanks, G-Man. So 246, if this could potentially break down below 246, I would keep that on watch. Right now, we're just breaking below the 425. What does that mean to me, Mark? When we go below the 425 on the 45 minute, which hat am I wearing? I think I need a bear and a bull hat. I think I totally am going to get some funny hats. I have a shark hat, like a little shark. What do you guys think? Should I get the bear hats and wear the bear hats and the bull hats? Yeah. And I would look at for further confirmation below 246. Right? All right, let's check out. Somebody said something else after JMIA. Jumia. All right, so look at how it just really traded sideways and it had like a channel movement here. Now we've broken up above it. So it's consolidated. All of yesterday was an inside day consolidation, had this gap down. And right now we are moving up. However, the trend is below us. So if it were able to take out the high of this candlestick over here, which is $15, likely a move up. All this consolidation, usually when you have that consolidation day, then you have a bigger move the next day, which you see happens. We had an inside day consolidation. We had a doji day, inside day, and then boom, we moved up from there. We moved up from the high of the close yesterday. So that was a pretty good point. That would have been a good point to get in to go long. Now, if this can break above $14.50, potential test up to that $15 mark. If it could break the $15 mark, $15.25 up here, then potentially $15.40, and above $16.50, heading back up in the bullish trend. All right, PLTR. So PLTR looks like on the daily chart, you wouldn't even know it really had earnings. It just retraced back to the moving average, and the 50 simple moving average over here looks as if though maybe the market didn't like it. Maybe this was a pre-run up into earnings and then they just brought it back down, but it's still in a bullish trend overall on the daily chart on the left over here. And potentially, you know, if this were to, on the shorter term, we have a downward trend. Always best when the two are in agreement, right? So if we started to see that this curls back up, potentially move up above 1620 over here. Nice move to the upside. All right, run a centaur hat. Or I could get, have you seen those COVID pods? I could put one of those COVID pods and put horns on it, right? So Sunrun had their earnings, right? And then it gapped down, wasn't looking good. Yeah, this one's holding below the 21 EMA. It's still, it went bearish on the 9th of November. So this would have been a good day potentially to enter as a short when it spiked up. And then, look at that. Do you guys see this? What's that 425, right? It came up and what was that? What did it hit? That 425 and then it dropped down. Hey, right here, again, they're not holding it above that 425 on the 45 minute, liking this more as a bearish move for Sunrun, personally. But we tested almost this support over here, 54.83. Be more convincing if it broke down below 54.83 to the downside for Sunrun. All right, PSTH. Let me look at that. PSTH. Let's see, what are my thoughts on this? Looks as if it's pulling back right now. A bit of a triangle over here on the daily. And lower risk entry, it hasn't, it's actually, look at that, on the 45-minute chart, it's testing that trend line. So I do this on the daily from the tops over here. And if we go like this, it's broken below over here, but we're holding this trend line. And we're at a lower risk entry on the daily chart right here. The stochastics are looking like it just curled over. Directional movement indicator is still showing an upward trend though. If I were to personally get in right now, I would use this as my potential exit point, 22.86. Down here, I'd give it 10 cents. All right, DKNG. G-Man, you had a question. You said volume. Volume for what? I'm sorry. Was that for PLTR? DraftKings, earnings. Well, here's the thing, right? Maybe they pulled it all the way back down just before earnings. And when we look at the daily chart, this was pretty heavily hit, right? This was when I think all the members of ESPN were announced with having COVID. So that might play into the fact maybe they wanted to enter down here off of this moving average, and now they're in an upward swing. It halted here. It's iffy. I wouldn't, on the 45-minute chart, it's showing bearish over here. It's like it may be bearish or bullish. I'm not one to hold overnight into earnings. Trade it up to earnings or after, but not overnight. So, oh, let me flip these around. I just noticed the colors are reversed. So I would put this up here. If this happens to open above 43.20 like that, or down below 40 to the bear side tomorrow, in my opinion, right? All right, guys, CRD. All right, we'll do CRD. I mean, CRWD. So CRWD, below the 50 simple moving average, but above the 20. The 20 just crossed down over the 50 simple moving average, has a potential to fill back down to 130.85, and it looks like it was not able to hold up above today, that spike above the 50. I want to grab this right here, and you can see here's that resistance, right? Here was resistance, selling, resistance, resistance. Hey, we popped up above. Just kidding, we're bringing it back down. Okay, maybe some buying right here. Okay, bring it back up. Nope, we're selling it off, and a little indecision. I would look more for the break, right? If it breaks above 136.24, right now it is pulling back down to the moving averages, so it might be lower risk for potential long entry, but the volume, we've got a selling power coming in, especially if it drops below the 20 simple moving average right here, might be an ideal potential short entry for CRWD. All right, let's look at it on the chart, and whoops, that's not the one that I wanted to expand. It's this one. Yeah, where does it tend to bounce? It tends to bounce on the 50. So you can see back here, it dropped below. How many days were we below it? 1, 2, 3. Came back up and tested it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we came down 1, 2, 3, 4. Tested it again, and then it broke above. So if history repeats itself, maybe it will break above. However, it wasn't able to hold above the 20. We had higher volume come in when the 20 crossed down over the 50. A bit of a death cross. Huh? More with a 50 over the 200, but like a shorter term one right there. All right, guys, have an amazing afternoon. I'm going to wrap it up for today. I will do live streaming yoga again tomorrow if you guys want to join me at 7:30 in the morning. I'll put the run on hold and do yoga again. It was amazing one today. I'm bummed everybody missed it. I feel great after doing it. So I'll try to do the same things tomorrow and loosen up your bodies, ground you, relax you for your trading day. If you guys ever have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out to me at jane@cjanetrade.com. And as always, carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time.